Hello, friends. Happy Thursday. My name is Janna, and welcome to my channel, and welcome back if you have been here before. So I've got a sort of collagey, um, vintage themed card today. And my little paper here, I cut from this big 12 by 12 pad of paper from Die Cuts with a View, DCWV Vintage Memories. I love this paper. I'll just flip through it real quick here for you. It's got all kinds of just fun stuff in it. If you're into vintage, you'll love this. I I can't remember if I got this. Oh, I I don't know. I don't know where I got it. I'm thinking I may have gotten it at a craft warehouse. Not sure if it's even still available, but there you have it. That's where I got my paper. So I chose this piece, which looks like it's from an old catalog. And I'm using my little distressor tool here that I got from my friend Patty. Isn't it cute? It's very vintage looking. To me, it looks like a little hand mirror or like a little magnifying glass thing. It's got like a little jewel in there, or it looks like a jewel. Not sure. Anyway, what it has inside is like a little razor blade. That's what de-stressor tools are. And if you've never used one, you just run it along the edge of your paper and it just roughs it up. Now you can do the same thing with some sharp scissors if you don't have a little tool. Um, I have another one of these that I've had for many years that I got from close to my heart. I was going to see if I could pull it out. I'm sure I have it right here somewhere. Um, well, I'm not finding it. I know it's in my little spinning around thing right here, but for some reason I can't. I've got it so full of stuff now that I'm not finding it. I know it's in there though. Oh well. It's bigger. It's about this big around, and you'd think I'd be able to feel it in there because I know it's there. That's okay. But I've had it for a long time and it still works. And then I know there's ones by, I think it's Ranger, and they might have Tim Holt's name on it. His is a little bit smaller, but it's bigger than this one. And I think they're just called de-stressing tools. So anyway, I'm gonna rough up the edge of this. Hey, Sue. I know. My other one, seriously, I've got a little spinning around thing here that has pockets. It's fabric and it's in one of those pockets, but for some reason I can't feel it because I've got too much stuff in them. I know that's what it is. So you can make it as grungy as you want. You can go easy with it. You can tear the edges somewhat too, which I like. It just depends on what you're doing and how grungy or distressed you want it. Okay, so back to the start here, and I just want this corner. That's okay. I want it to look grungy, so I'm fine with my corners being bent or torn. Okay, so it does create a little bit of paper dust. All right, so I'm going to further distress the edges just by inking, and I'm going to use Distress Vintage Photo for that. And again, you can ink to your heart's desire or not ink, whatever your preference is. But the point is to kind of, make it look old. Old and not very well taken care of over the years, maybe. Okay, so there we go with that. I might just swipe a little bit of this across the front here. And I'm going to be using that again, so I will just set it aside right there. Now then, what am I going to do next? I'm actually going to tear this a little bit. I'm just trying to decide where I want to tear it. I think I'm going to give it a rip right down here. And I want it to really look torn up there where I'm tearing it. And I don't want white to show. But I definitely I want the tear to show up. So I'm just going to maybe fold that paper up a little bit where the tear is. Can even just like take a little bit of it out, which maybe I will do here. Maybe I will just tear a little bit of it if I can get a hold of it. There we go. Now it's got a hole, even better. Okay, so there's that. And then I'm going to grab my cello sticker tape. And again, this is a Tim Holtz product. Now, there are many videos here on YouTube showing how to make your own tape. So there's a bunch of different pieces in here. So you just find whichever piece you want. I want a little bit of a white. Ooh, I want that one right there. So there we go. So I am just going to put it over and fold it to the back. So you know how old tape turns yellow and all kinds of color over the years. So there we go with that. So you get a lot in this package. Does it say how many pieces? Let me see if it says. 144. So you can do a lot of tape sticking with that. Okay, so there we have that. Now then, I have My card base is gonna be, a basic gray, card base from using cardstock from Stampin' Up, and I've just got it cut to our normal 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 size. So that kinda matches good with the print here on this page. And then I've got a bunch of little goodies in here. So let me dump them out. This is for the inside. I know I've got one inky dinky little tiny piece in here that I don't want to lose. But I have some fun things that I have pulled out of ephemera packs. They're all Tim Holtz things, except for my guy. My guy here comes from this pack, which I got on Amazon, and it's very similar to the Tim Holtz people, except for there's some different sort of colors on some of them. Whereas, let me see, do I have any? Oh, I don't have my Tim Holtz. I have a drawer full of stuff here, and I have another drawer that's just all packages of these kind of people. And his are mostly all one kind of color, where there's sort of some different vintage colors in this pack. Um, but anyway, that's what the package says. Design, illustration, stationery, it says over here. Stamp, typography, and calligraphy, it says on that side. Um, but anyway, yeah, I got this on Amazon. And here's my little, I'm seeing my little tiny piece right here that I don't want to lose. So let me just set that up there on a shelf. Okay, so now my chain here, this one I went and made, I've already inked it to look rusty, and I'm going to do that to this piece as well. My chain comes from this die set from Stampin' Up. I've got the stamp and die set. It's called Gears and Textures. So this is a really fun set that you can use for this kind of thing, vintage stuff, guy cards, um, steampunk type things. There's some good background type things in here. It's got a fun light, old time light bulb that you can cut out, and then there's the inside part that goes to it. So there's all kinds of fun stuff on there. And actually, I'm going to get the stamps out because before I get too carried away here, I do want to do some stamping on my piece here. So I'm going to do the splatter. We're gonna assume that somebody might have spilt their coffee or something on here a little bit. So I'm just gonna grab my pecan pie ink and put a few splats around because, they probably splattered it when they picked it up. They splashed it around. And then there's this big swirly one that to me almost looks like a little bit of an ocean wave, but I'm going to say that this is where the coffee cup got set down right on here. Yeah, and left a big old mess. So there's that. So you can just stamp whatever you want to stamp and make it your own and make it fun. So I'm going to use some Cajun craze with this kind of mm, crosshatch design, I guess, to give it kind of a rusty, a little bit of a rust look. And then I think I will stamp some of the gears. So let's see which gear. Maybe I'll do, there's just two gears in the stamps. I think you get more than that. Yeah, you get way more than that in the dies for gears. All right, let's see here. I think I'll do these in smoky slate. It's just for a little something something in the background. Maybe I should do some splatter. That might be fun. Let me see what I've got here. I'm looking at my silks that I acquired while I was with um, Fun Stamper's Journey. I've got a bunch of colors up here, but I don't really want black, and brown might be, what's this one? Oh, no. I don't want a color. And I don't want sparkle, clear sparkle. So let me just, rather than put it directly on my card, I'll open this up and splatter a little bit. You have to really shake these up. Now, if you're curious as to where you could maybe find some of this, Spellbinders has the like clear sparkly one. I think that's about the only color they have, but it comes just like this in the same type bottle. Spellbinders was kind of affiliated with Fun Stamper's Journey. Okay, just about there. I wasn't planning on using this, but I just thought it might be kind of fun. So let me just shake it, shake a little bit more and see if it looks like it might be too dark. I don't want it too globby. This brush looks like it got bent up in there. Well, maybe if I just do a little bit. Why does the brush look like that? That's weird. I don't want too much, but just a few little dots. This stuff tends to go everywhere. It's almost better to put your paper down into a box where the edges of the box can contain. Okay, we're going to stop with that. Can contain the overspray, I guess. All right, maybe I should give that a quick little dry with my heat tool. Uh-oh, I don't want to get it on the tape there because it makes the tape curl. So I will try to avoid hitting that tape again. Yeah, the tape wanted to melt. Let me just do this. All right, so here's what we have going on so far. Okay, I don't think I need to do anything else to my background. So I can start adding. Maybe I'll go ahead and rust this chain up real quick. And to do that, I've got my little finger dauber. Look, I've got it on me. I've got polka dots on me. Okay, and pulling out Cajun Craze again. It's just a good color for rust. And I'm going to just rust this chain up. Okay, that looks rusty to me. Oh, and then did I cut? No, but I have a piece to cut it. So I want a piece of this. Oopsie, I don't need that. So let's see here. Did I cut a gear? I didn't. So I want this. And I want a gear. So I need to stamp my gear. So I'm going to grab basic gray, which is the same color as my paper. So there's my gear, and then this little stamp here, die here, we'll cut that out. So I will hold that in place. And then I'm just going to run these through my die cutting machine real quick, and I'll be right back. Okay, so there's my gear. And my little piece of whatever this metal came from, it's either a grate or piece of fence, who knows? Okay, so there we have that. And let me get this put back on the thing so I don't lose it. All right, so here we have this, and I'm just going to rest these up a little bit because this place where this guy's hanging out is just some old place where they did metal work and stuff. So all this stuff is old and rusty and, you know, and my gear, gonna do the same thing. It's rusty too. All right. Now then, I've got this little teensy tiny, this is from the dies right here. And I'm just going to, maybe I'll put it on here. That might be easier. Just going to put a little bit of glue on here. Don't worry, it dries clear. Actually, before I put it on there, I'm going to take my finger dauber over that. We don't want a spick and span shiny piece on there. It's got to be rusty also. Maybe I should go over it after. Well, nope, it's picking up the color. Okay. Okay, so there's that. Am I done with this? I think so. All right, let's bring this back in. Where's my other little piece of chain? Here it is. So this is going to need to get snipped off, but actually I need to put this on my card first. So I guess I will save those pieces for a bit, but this one I can go ahead and glue on. This would maybe make a cute Father's Day card or birthday card, whatever. Stick it in Happy Mail, put it in a journal, a junk journal or something like that, if you're into that. So I think I'm getting ahead of myself because I want to put this down next, but I need to ink around the edges of it. And this is just an old yardstick or ruler, but I'm going with yardstick. We always had a yardstick at my house when I was growing up. So in case you don't know what a yardstick is, it just measures 3 feet. Isn't that right? 3 feet? And they're wood, and typically they have little metal pieces of metal on the ends of them, and usually a hole drilled in one end so that you could hang it on a nail or whatever, keep it handy where you knew where it was. And for whatever reason, it seems like they got used quite often for one thing or another. Okay, so I'm putting that there because I'm actually putting that as a landing spot for my guy to stand on. Now, hopefully my glue didn't dry too much because I'm gonna just put that there. And I think at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and attach this to the front of my card. So let me set that. I don't want to lose my gear. Okay, so I've just got polka dots all over me from that splatter. Okay, Sue, I thought I was right. 3 feet. Sometimes it was easier to use that than to get out a tape measure. Handier to grab. Okay, so there we have that onto the front of the card. And then I can go ahead and put this on. I want to cut it off some, and I don't want to cover up my piece of tape. So let's see. I think I will snip it off just halfway here. And I'm going to take it all the way to the top edge of my card, just because. You might hear some tapping and hammering going on. One of our neighbors is getting a new roof today, so yeah, the dogs are loving it. I've been having to get after them all morning to quit barking. Alrighty. So there is that. And just gonna take it all the way to the top edge there. And then my other little rusty piece here, you know, these chains, these things have been around for some time, so that one's broken. It's just gonna hang there. It probably had another gear or something hanging from it at one time. So I'm just gonna dab a little bit of glue on it. It doesn't need to be stuck down completely flat. Just overlap it here. It's just kind of swinging in the air there a little bit. Probably could even stick this other piece on, but I'm not going to. It's going to go in the trash. Let me bring my little gear in here because it's going to be going on there, but just not yet. Okay, so here's my guy, and these ones, I don't remember. I think they're pretty much the same as the Tim Holtz one. There is some shine to the paper that they are on here, which is, like a lightweight chipboard sort of stuff. I'm just trying to get a little bit of this white edge off is all. And actually you can kind of, if you want to, you could go over it a little bit. I wouldn't go over it on his face, but you could go over it a little bit, and that does take some of the shine down. I'm not going to do that either, but just trying to get rid of the white edges. So there's that, and then I'm just going to do the same with all my little pieces that I've pulled out here. And I might pull some more, we'll see. So do you like to do vintage themed things? Let me know. If you have the ability to get on. Hi, Danita. Guard dogs on. Yeah. She's talking about our dogs barking. Yeah, if you have the ability to go on the live chat, you can let me know there, or after the video actually posts at the end, you can come back and leave a comment. Let me know if you like to do vintage stuff. Okay, so there's that, but I have a feeling I might want something else, but we'll see. Okay, so we have antiquities here. So that can go like that. You just kind of want to build your little scene. This might be too big. Oh, I could put this down here. I'm just going to lay it out how I want it. He's going to be standing over here. Lay it out how I want it, and then I can come back and glue everything. Yeah, I kind of think I like that. Okay, so manufactured expressly for fine retail trade. Okay, so there's that. Now I can't remember. Okay. Went grocery shopping. Took my sister grocery shopping this morning to the Walmart. And actually, we go early to sort of avoid all the people, which works out pretty good. Didn't really have to wait in line at checkout. People aren't grumpy yet. Okay, so he's going to be here. I mean, is he disgusted about something or what's going on here? Not sure. He kind of has that look on his face. Like, I'm pretty sure that he's like disgusted about something or mad. Okay. I mean, he's got his arms folded. Yeah, he's not happy about something. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to just pop him up a little bit, but I'm going to glue his feet down because he's not levitating. He's not, you know, floating. Of course, if he's that angry, I suppose he could be. All right. Let's take these off. Oh. Sue says he's waiting for his wife. She's in the craft store. That's perfect. He's probably tapping his one foot here. Yep, I think you hit the nail on the head. Is she ever going to be done? Let's go. I have stuff to do. Okay, so there is that. And then my little gear here, we're going to do something really fun with this. Okay, so I got these on Amazon. There's the information, which isn't very helpful. If you want to know the ordering information or whatever, just let me know and I will. Actually, what I will do is go back when this video posts and I will put it in the description box. That will just be the easiest. Okay, so for this, I am using this Beacon 3-in-1 glue. And I am going to put some of that on the big side of this. This stuff stinks too, just to let you know. And it strings, but it works really well. Okay, so that's going to go at the end of our chain there. And I'm just going to hold it there for a second. Yeah, he's waiting for his wife at the craft store. That is a good one. Pretty sure they didn't have craft stores back then, but hey, she was probably in buying fabric. She had aprons to make and, sewing to do. So that's probably, she was in the mercantile picking out fabric. Okay, I'm gonna put glue on the top now. Just a drop because this stuff, like I said, it strings. And now here comes the hard part, trying to line this up. So I think the easiest way is trying to maybe put that in the middle of the chain. And hopefully I'm kind of getting it in the middle of, and I'm just going to look at it from the underneath. And we're going to let that dry a little bit. Okay. So I will leave it alone there for a minute. Put the lid back on this. Make sure you don't leave the lid off of this glue if you use it. Get some of my stuff in order here, just to get it out of the way. All right, and then what am I looking for over here? Oh, I've got a piece of this to cut off and put on here, and then, oh, my little books. I've got a bunch of these different little books to put something on the front. So I just want to cut a little strip of this. Just like a quarter of an inch, maybe half inch. No, that's more like a quarter of an inch, I think. Whatever. I just want a little strip. Just a little something to decorate the inside up. Oopsie. What was the name of the gal that worked in the mercantile? They owned the mercantile on Little House on the Prairie. She was such an old biddy. I mean, that would make a guy grumpy if he had to deal with her. He probably wanted to go in there and buy something and didn't, put it on my account. And she, she could give that look. And she probably said no. That he had not paid his bill from the last time, so not going to put it on your account. But the wife took eggs in. So she's making a deal with, what's her name? Why can't I think of it? Okay, so there's that, and we can go ahead and maybe get this put on the inside. I'm just letting my glue get a good hold there on that gear. Mrs. Olson, thank you, Sue. Yeah, she was something else. And their daughter, and then the one they adopted, she was even worse. Okay, so there's that. And now we need something to put for a little saying here. So let's see. This is the clippings sticker book. Let's see. See if there's something kind of funny we can put on here. She didn't press her luck. Let's see. No. His eyes were bright? I don't think so. Um, Curious looking. Give me a few moments. Okay, that's making me laugh for some reason. Um, okay. Let's see here. Some things just make me laugh. A lot of these are like more for about women. So I'm just looking. Let us imagine for a moment. Good luck to you today. She winked at me. Okay, it's repeating things. Okay, so what was made me laugh over here? I can't remember. Let me look in here real quick. This is the chit chat. And these are just words. So sometimes one little funny word is all you need. Traveler, he doesn't strike me as that. Kind, not quite getting kind from him. Too bad they don't have one that says grumpy. Timeless. What was the one that made me laugh on this page? That was my boy. To be cheerful and optimistic. Okay. Let's see here. At one time not so long ago. At one time not so long ago. That might be kind of funny. He couldn't remember. He has that look, kind of. He couldn't remember. Give me a few moments. That was the one I think. Flashed him the engaging smile. I think I might go with at one time not so long ago. Okay. And there's a comma on there. Don't really want that on there, so I'm just going to snip it off. And got to put some ink on it. At one time, not so long ago. You know, that looks like a long time ago, but when you really stop and think about it and how much stuff has changed over the last 100 years, it's insane. Insane in the membrane. Okay. I like to put a little glue on it even though it's sticky because I've touched it all over with my fingers and inked it and all that happy stuff, so I think it's better to just put a little glue on it. And we'll just put it up here. At one time, not so long ago. And then you've got this fun little spinny thing like a fidget spinner. So whoever you give this to can sit and twirl this and spin it to their heart's desire. It's just kind of fun. And it really spins good. Again, that was these, I got all these in this package. And I will go back and put it in the description box from Amazon because they work so good and can be so much fun for a lot of things. But yeah, that is one good spinner. All right, so there is my card for today. I'll show you the other one I made. This one has a younger gent on it. These fond memories. I put my tear and my tape up there and then I sort of covered it up, but not all the way. I didn't put any splatter on this one. Same thing on the inside. You could put another gear up on the other one hanging down if you wanted to. Just kind of fun. All right, let's do story time. Wisdom from the world according to Mr. Rogers. Important things to remember. And we were starting this, the challenges of inner discipline. Imagining something may be the first step in making it happen, but it takes the real time and real efforts of real people to learn things, make things, turn thoughts into deeds or visions into inventions. Discipline is a teaching, learning kind of relationship, as the similarity of the word disciple suggests. By helping our children learn to be self-disciplined, we are also helping them learn how to become independent of us, as sooner or later they must. And we are helping them learn how to be loving parents to children of their own. How great it is when we come to know that times of disappointment can. Oops, did I skip a page? No. How great it is when we come to know that times of disappointment can be followed by times of fulfillment, that sorrow can be followed by joy, that guilt over falling short of our ideals can be replaced by pride in doing all that we can, and that anger can be channeled into creative achievements and into dreams that we can make come true. I like to swim, but there are some days I just don't feel much like doing it, but I do it anyway. I know it's good for me, and I promised myself I'd do it every day, and I like to keep my promises. That's one of my disciplines, and it's a good feeling after you've tried and done something well. Inside you think, I've kept at this and I've really learned it, not by magic, but by my own work. What makes the difference between wishing and realizing our wishes? Lots of things, and it may take months or years for a wish to come true, but it's far more likely to happen when you care so much about a wish that you'll do all you can to make it happen. A young apprentice applied to a master carpenter for a job. The older man asked him, "Do you know your trade?" "Yes, sir," the young man replied proudly. "Have you ever made a mistake?" the older man inquired. "No, sir," the young man answered, feeling certain he would get the job. "Then there's no way I'm going to hire you," said the master carpenter, "because when you make one, you won't know how to fix it." All right, we'll just stop there. I like Mr. Rogers. Okay, thanks for joining me today, you guys. I hope you like these little fun vintage cards. So fun to put together. All right, have a great weekend ahead and take care. What else? I hope you get to be crafty, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for being here. Please give me a thumbs up. Bye bye.